Hey, it's Joy. Welcome back. Today I'm participating in the Whimsy Stamps I Spy Hop and Giveaway. Each stop in the hop is sharing a project featuring the Whimsy Stamps Penguin Pal dies, plus a few other products that I'll cover throughout the video. So be sure to hop along to each stop in the hop for a chance to win a $100 gift card to the Whimsy Stamps shop, which is being sponsored by Whimsy Stamps. So I start out every time I start a die cutting project. I usually die cut everything out in white cardstock, and then I sort them into various containers. And I do this because it allows me to use my imagination and see what I can build. So I die cut the Penguin Pals and the Penguin Pals Pizzazz dies. And here you're going to see that I am sorting those out. The hat from the Penguin Pals Pizzazz reminds me of a piece of toast, and I so badly wanted to make a little Valentine's Day card with this, but our challenge was to make a different animal besides a penguin. So here I am trying to decide what to do. When I first saw the earmuffs being cut out, I envisioned a duckbill or a platypus, but then those little furry balls that look like they're part of the earmuffs, those reminded me of a caterpillar. So my favorite animal besides my Yorkie are frogs, but I've seen some other girls use some frogs already. I'm not sure if they're going to use them here in the hop or not. I just know that I've seen some frogs emerge, so I decided to make a caterpillar. I used the medium size of the penguin, of the face and the outline, and I used a Copic marker to color my images. I did that for all of the parts. So I started out with a YG01, and I'm just getting down a base, and then I start bringing in some YG05 and a 03, and I'm making sure that the outside is a little bit darker than the inside of the face. You can make your caterpillar whatever you want. I decided to go with a rainbow because of this time of year. It gets kind of dreary and drab, so I wanted something that would cheer me up. I then did the same thing with the inside part of the face with a YG01 and YG05, and I'm just flicking in some shadows from the side. And later on, I bring in an R20 just to bring some rosy cheeks in. I used the outer portion of the die to make a base, and now I'm gluing in the two facial aspects of the caterpillar, and I'm using Barely Art glue with that, but you could use whatever adhesive you find best. I just like Barely Art glue because it dries matte and it dries clear, so you don't get any of these smudges or anything that you would get with other adhesives. So next is bringing in the fuzzy parts of the earmuffs. Now this would normally be a layering piece that you would use for the penguins, but I'm using each one of them in descending order. So I colored that with an R24, then I dot in a 4-6, a 2-9, and a 5-9. And at first I started doing dots, and then I was doing some stripes, and ultimately I decided to do the dots just so that it would give it some texture, give it some dimension, but it didn't require any type of skillful coloring. I wanted this to be a very attainable design. In fact, it reminds me of something that I did in grade school. I cherish these projects. It's something my kids did, and I think this would be a fun project to do with your grandkids or your young kids if you've got them. Next, I'm doing an orange with a YR09, a 7, and a 04. Dotting those in. Then I repeat the processes with yellow, so I use a Y04, 06, and an 08. And then I believe that I do cut out some of the coloring because it becomes redundant, but you get the idea. Just use 2 or 3 shades of every color. Then I take my Barely Art glue and I start to make my little caterpillar, and I make sure to use my red piece first, and I put that behind the face, and then subsequently I put every piece of the caterpillar's body kind of adhered behind it, and I make it a little bit of a curved shape. Now a little bit more about the hop. This hop is open until I believe it's January 30th at 11:59. So on February 1st, you will see an announcement on the Whimsy Stamps channel. So be sure to check that back because it's a great prize. Again, we will pick one winner at random via a YouTube random comment picker. So be sure to subscribe and leave a comment. We will announce the winner on the Whimsy Stamps YouTube channel in the I Spy Hop video box description box. So be sure to check back to the description box on the Whimsy Stamps site. That is key. Now I'm using what would be the penguin's eyebrows, and I didn't go too very far off here. And I'm using those as eyebrows and a smile for my caterpillar. I, of course, colored the eyebrows black and the mouth pink with the R20. And now I'm using what would have been like the arms for the penguin. And the arms for the penguin. And I'm using those as antennae. And just by coloring those black and positioning those behind the head, you're getting a really cute little character. And we haven't done anything too terribly difficult. I would love to see what you do. So be sure to pick these up if you're interested and tag us at Whimsy Stamps so that we can follow. Now, these are the canes that are in the Penguin Pals Pizzazz die set. This is the accompanying or matching die set. And I die cut those out 8 different times. And I am adhering those so the caterpillar has 8 legs. You could use however many legs that you like. I just tend to think of insects and spiders and whatever to have 6 or 8 legs. So that's what I did. So I find it easier to apply the dots of glue and then move the caterpillar to the legs. So once I'm finished with the caterpillar's legs, I move on to the rest of the card. And for this, I blend Distress Oxide in the color Tumbled Glass onto an A2 sized smooth cardstock. Now I am mindful to get a seamless blend by starting off of the page from my glass mat onto my page. However, I do leave some white area so that I give the illusion of clouds. Now you can concentrate your color and just have a blue sky without any clouds. This is just up to you, what your artistic mind is telling you at the time. But I like to leave white so it's a little bit more realistic. Then I bring in another panel and I am blending Mowed Lawn to the bottom of the card. And I'm doing that because I'm going to use the grass from the Grass and Cloud Edger die to create a hillside. Once that's finished, I then stamp a sentiment from the Positive stamp set in VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink using my Misty, and I do that directly on the sky background. And then from there, I bring in the hillside, and I thought that it needed to be a little bit darker, so I brought in some Rustic Wilderness just to give it some depth and some changes in colors. Finally, I pop up the caterpillar onto the card base, and that's just about it. So be sure to hop along and check out what everybody else has done. Until next time, keep crafting. Have a great day. Bye-bye.